Russian President Vladimir Putin has welcomed Syria's President Ahmed al-Sharaa to Moscow for talks. It's the second time Putin has hosted al-Sharaa since his coalition of rebels toppled Syria's longtime dictator Bashar al-Assad more than a year ago. Russia supported the Assad regime during that conflict and is still hosting Syria's former leader in exile.
Russian President Vladimir Putin welcomes the Syrian leader Ahmed al-Sharaa. Putin praised the growing ties between Moscow and Damascus.
Much has been accomplished in terms of restoring relations between our nations. We've also managed to break the deadlock in economic cooperation. We've seen growth of over 4%. This may not be as ambitious as we'd like, but there is still noticeable progress. And we must definitely maintain this wonderful trend. We are doing a lot to develop our relations in all areas.
Russia and Syria have a complex relationship. In 2024, al-Sharaa led an offensive that toppled the government of Bashar al-Assad, a former close ally of Putin. And even though Assad is taking refuge in Moscow, Sharaa has taken a pragmatic approach towards Russia and has asked Putin for help with his country's reconstruction.
I believe that over the past year, Syria has taken many steps forwards and overcome various stages and obstacles, the latest of which was unifying the Syrian territory. And Russia has a historic role not only in Syria's unity and stability, but in that of the entire region. We hope that these efforts will continue so that the Middle East region can reach a state of development and that we can move from a state of ruin and destruction to one of stability.
Assad's ouster reduced Russia's influence in the region. For the Kremlin, it is essential to maintain its naval and air bases. Russia has two remaining military outposts in the country, the Humaymim Air Base and the Tartus Naval Base. They are Russia's only two official military bases outside the former Soviet Union. While Syria continues to build ties with Moscow, it has demanded that Russia extradite Assad.
Well, I'm joined now by Anna Borshchevskaya. She's a senior fellow in the Washington Institute focusing on Russia's Middle East policy, and she joins us from Washington, D.C. Anna, it's good to have you with us. Russia was a key ally of Bashar al-Assad and his regime, and now it wants to be an ally to the government in Syria that overthrew Bashar al-Assad. How do you read that? Who can trust whom in this situation?
Thanks very much for having me. The way I read that is that, contrary to many expectations in the West, with the fall of Assad about a year ago, this fall of this dictator was not the fundamental turning point for Russia's influence that many in the West had hoped. Russia, in fact, never fully left Syria to begin with, and is now reconsolidating influence with its new leadership. So leaders come and go, but Russia stays.
Well, who needs whom the most at the moment? Does Russia need Syria, particularly for these military bases, or does Syria need Russia as a geopolitical backer?
They both need each other, but al-Sharaa needs Russia a little bit more than the other way around. Russia wants to have a presence in Syria, a military presence that your report has talked about is very important, but also economic presence. Syria offers a variety of ways that Russia can, from which Russia can use as a springboard to project power. So Russia for sure wants to be in Syria, but al-Sharaa also needs Russia, because the other underlying question here is his ability to hold power, his ability to retain control of the country that is still very much fragmented, and Russia can be helpful in that regard.
If you could, Anna, for our viewers, tell us what would it mean for Moscow if it were to lose its Mediterranean military bases?
Mediterranean bases are very important for Russia in terms of power projection into NATO southern flank and overall all of Europe, especially with Russia's war in Ukraine, as well as also all across Middle East and Africa. It's a very strategic point that allows for logistics, transportation, and power projection into multiple directions.
The Kremlin, I'm sure you're aware of this, it withdrew its forces from the Kamishli airport in Kurdish-held northeast Syria earlier this week. How significant is that for the government in Damascus?
I think it's particularly significant, frankly. What's more important is that Russia still has a presence in the south and on the coast, again, where Russia's bases are. And the south is important because it is the cradle of Syrian uprisings that led to Syria's civil war. And it's an area where Damascus is weak. It's an area where Damascus has a hard time maintaining control. So Kamishli, I know, has made news most recently, but it's not as important as the south and the coast.
Okay. Anna Borshchevskaya, Senior Fellow at the Washington Institute. We appreciate your time and your insights tonight. Anna, thank you.
Thanks for having me.